and welcome to Hack the Cycle. I'm your host, Nadia Okamoto, co-founder of August, the lifestyle period brand. Today we're going to be talking about a word that gets thrown around a lot, hormones. Hormones get a bad rep for causing everything from acne to weight gain to mood swings, and I wanted to talk to a real doctor about how and how much hormones really affect us. So let's go talk to Dr. Mary.
Hi, Nadia. Are you here for Hack the Cycle?
Yes, I am. Are you Dr. Mary?
I am. Come on in.
Oh, amazing. So good to meet you.
You too.
Thank you so much for sitting down with me, Dr. Mary. I have so many questions about hormones. The first question is, what are hormones?
Yeah, hormones are basically chemical messengers that kind of travel through our bloodstream, and they kind of control how our body functions. So they're very important to daily life, how you're cycling through your menstrual cycle.
And who has hormones?
Everybody has hormones, so whatever gender you are, you have hormones. It's a very integral part to how our body is able to go about and do the things that we love, how you sleep, how your mind thinks, how you eat, all of these things.
How do hormones fluctuate for menstruators along their cycles?
So there are kind of four big hormones that fluctuate the most, and that's estrogen, progesterone, and then FSH, which is follicle stimulating hormone, and luteinizing hormone, or LH. And essentially what happens throughout the cycle is that estrogen, progesterone, and LH and FSH will kind of work together in tandem to tell your uterus and your ovaries what to do and when to do it in preparation for a possible pregnancy. That's what the period is for. And of course, if you don't get pregnant, which most of the time we're not getting pregnant, a lot of times those hormones will dip back down and the cycle kind of starts all over again.
So I know we talked about how hormones fluctuate along someone's menstrual cycle, but how does that actually break up into phases?
There is the follicular phase in the beginning half of your cycle, and within that you have your period in the early part of that. Then we have ovulation, which is a few days around the middle, and then the luteal phase. During the early follicular phase, when you're on your period, your estrogen, progesterone, all of these hormones are very, very low. And so that's part of why people kind of feel their worst during their period. In the late follicular phase, what's happening is those hormones are starting to climb back up. So your estrogen is rising, your progesterone, your LH and FSH. Your FSH is telling your ovaries to prepare an egg for ovulation, and your estrogen is telling your uterus to thicken up the lining of the uterus in case you do get pregnant. Once you get past that late follicular phase, it's time for ovulation, and what happens there is estrogen has to reach a specific number, which is different for every body and different for every cycle. But once estrogen reaches that number, it signals the brain that it's time to release an egg. And so LH is released, and we call that the LH surge. That tells your ovary, okay, time to release that egg, we might get pregnant, let's get ready for that. This is when people feel their best because your hormones are at their peak, you kind of feel like you're most productive, most creative, your mood is at its highest. So that's when I usually recommend people try to kind of work out harder. Once ovulation happens, if the egg does not actually get fertilized, all of those hormones kind of go back down, your progesterone starts to rise in preparation for a period, essentially. So progesterone will start to go up, then go back down, and as it goes down, you kind of reach that low level once again, and the next cycle starts again.
If someone is experiencing hormone imbalances and seeing the plethora of symptoms, what are quick tips for that person?
So a lot of it is going to be related to diet, exercise, and sleep, and of course stress management. So diet, the main thing is eating a balanced diet, making sure that you're eating enough fiber, enough protein. Those things can help balance hormones very well. Sleep is really, really big because sleep affects your circadian rhythm, which affects the hormones that are high or low depending on the time of day. And then exercise, just moving your body most days out of the week.
Well, thank you so much for chatting.
Yeah.
Super informative. I could talk to you for so many hours. There's so many more questions. I appreciate you taking the time.
Yes, of course, it's my pleasure.
Thank you.